Hey, so I've been meaning to write this story for a while, but I just haven't ever gotten around to it and realized that just told it today to some friends and I was like, well, maybe I'll just, film it. So, my brother Ethan has been in Washington all summer doing this internship, learning computer stuff, I don't know. And he just got back into town a few weeks ago, and I've missed him terribly, and we talked on the phone and everything while he was gone, but he called me and was like, hey, I'm back in town, and I was like, oh, great, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and I'm watching TV, procrastinating, getting ready for bed, and going to bed. I have to work at 6 the next morning, so I'm like, I should go to bed, but it's about 10. Anyway, I was still dressed, so that worked out, so he called, he's like, hey, I'm at the AMPM, you want to come jump me? My car died. It's like, oh, perfect. I'll go help him jump his car, say hi, hug him a little bit before I go to bed. I get to see him right when he comes into town. That's so great. I've missed him. So I get out of bed and go to see him and hook up my car to his battery. And he's got this new truck that's huge, this huge, crazy old Ford, It's got his motorcycle in the back and all his stuff in it. And he just got into town. And apparently he stopped to get gas, filled it up, and went to start his car, and it wouldn't start, and just so we hook up my little Zuzu Rodeo to his truck and wait like 20 minutes, and he turn it over and it's not working, and so we wait another 30 minutes, and he gives me a birthday present. We talk and catch up, and still not working. So I've been there like now almost an hour. So I got there called me at like 10, and now it's like 11 something, and I've been sitting there next to the gas pump taking up a whole section for like ever. So it's like, oh, well, that's not working. And so he calls different people and we poke it, and I look up stuff, and we're trying to figure out what to do, and oh, maybe it needs a new battery. Maybe the battery's just dead. So we unhook his car and everything, and he pushes it, and I steer it into like this spot, and we just park it and head off to Walmart. And our Walmart now is not a 24-hour Walmart. It is now a close at midnight Walmart, because everybody kept stealing everything after midnight, and they realized that having it open was like they were losing more money than if they closed it. And they just changed it, probably that night even, because we show up and they're like, you have 10 minutes before we need to close this place down, so you need to get your stuff and get out. And we're like, oh my gosh, okay. So we run to the back, and I go pick up a tool that we need, one of those, I don't know, some sort of wrench thing or something, and he picks out the battery that he needs, and we go and buy it. It's like $100 for a battery. Anyway, those things are heavy too. It's crazy. Anyway, we get it, we go back, put it in the thing, hook my car up to it, wait another hour for it to try to charge, and it's still not working. So I don't know, I turn on his car, and anyway, I'm sitting in his car, and he's like, well, I have to go to the bathroom. So my car's sitting there running out of gas, and trying to charge this stupid battery, and I'm tired now, and it's like 12:30 or something. I almost said midnight. Anyway, so it's like 12:30 or something, and it's like, oh my gosh, we're never gonna get out of here. I have to work at 6:30 the next morning, and it's just like I'm getting tired, and Ethan runs off to go to the bathroom or something, and there's all these crazy people. It's like the AMPM in Redding, the one over on Lake, so it's like, it's kind of sketch over there. So this tweaker lady starts hanging around. She's walking around, and she's like, I need my phone. I lost my phone. I need my phone. And we're like, oh my gosh. Okay, and she's wandering, or she wanders past the gas station. She wanders down the road and stuff, and you can hear her way down the road. I need my phone. Oh my gosh, my phone. Ah, And there's this little girl, she's not young, but she's short, younger looking girl who's not very patient at all. And she tried to talk to us about the car. She's like, oh, what seems to be wrong with it? What's going on? And we're all like, oh, I don't know. It won't start. She's like, oh, have people do that. They pretend that they know what they're talking about so they can try to help. Anyway, and she was there with her stoner boyfriend, and they're just hanging out, probably don't have anywhere else to go, or homeless or something, I don't know. Anyway, so she starts screaming at the lady, shut up, we don't want to hear you talking all that and stuff. And the lady's like, my phone, my phone. Anyway, she like wanders back around and she comes back to like the gas station as Ethan leaves to like go find something or go, I don't remember what he was doing. And she comes around and she like, the girl's stoner boyfriend too had like walked off, or you know, he was gone. So this lady like approaches her like, hey, do you know where my phone is? I lost my phone. I don't know where my phone is. And the girl takes a step back, pulls out this knife and like flips it open. It's like a flips it. So it's switchblade and it's like that big. Like flips it open and like it's holding it. She's like, watch out you. And she like pulls out her phone and is like holding it. She's like, this is my phone. Get back. And she has like this huge blade in her hand and is like threatening this girl, this like tweaker girl. And she's like looking at her like, I just, you know, I need my phone and my daughter's birthday. Believe it or not, my daughter's birthday and I need to call her and I need my phone. And I'm just like sitting in Ethan's truck, and Ethan's truck doesn't have a lock on it. Well, the lock doesn't even work. So I don't know. I'm sitting there looking at it going, oh, okay. I might just watch this girl get stabbed right now. And, you know, I don't like blood or wounds in general or death or, I don't know, that kind of stuff. So I was like, am I going to watch this girl get stabbed right now? And I'm like, should I intervene? I was like, well, I don't want to get stabbed. And, I mean, I don't know what intervening is going to do. And then it's like, but if she gets stabbed, am I supposed to, like, do first aid? I am first aid certified, you know, and then call the ambulance. I'm like, what if she's like bleeding out? No, I have to deal with this. She's a tweaker. Like any normal person would be like, well, whoa, back off, you know, not approach somebody with a knife. But like if you're like a tweaker, you don't know what they're gonna do. They're not gonna do it making sense. So anyway, so I'm like watching this going, I hope she backs off. Like I hope she, you know, knows better than to attack this girl with a knife. So she does back off slowly and then like walks away. And then the AMPM like employee, oh, you're fine. AMPM employee comes out and is like, hey, you can't be threatening people with knives on the property. And she's like, I swear, dude, I don't have a record. I don't have a record at all. I swear. You could look it up and you can ask, you know, my boyfriend and all this stuff. And anyway, so they leave because the guy tells them to leave. So anyway, she left, and then the tweaker like circled around, and Ethan's still gone. I don't know what he was doing. And she comes through the back of the truck and like wanders up to like the window where I'm sitting and like looks through, and she's like looking at me, and I'm like, so I like look at her, and we're just like kind of looking at each other, and I'm kind of going, okay. And I mean, I'm like, there's no lock or whatever, but I don't know what she's gonna do. So I'm just like looking at her, and she's just like looking at me, and she's like, I'm just sorry, I'm just looking for my phone. And she like walks off and keeps going. So I was like, oh, well. Then Ethan came back and was poking it some more. And then his phone died. So now his phone's dead. And we don't know what to do. And then this tow truck ended up being around. So this tow truck comes and jacks up the battery, hooks it up to a whole bunch of different things, and runs it in, you know, because it's like my car's too little to like fully charge it, and you have to like wait 20 minutes. So we take my car off of it, put that on there, and it gets it fully charged enough. So he goes and he like turns on the truck, and it starts, and we're like, yes, we did it. We've started it. It's like 1 a.m. We've done it. It's good now. And like some smoke starts coming out, but I'm like, oh, it's fine, because he had just put oil in it, because like maybe the oil is messing it up. I don't know. We tried everything. So it starts smoking, and then it's like, oh, I know. I was like, oh, I know. It's just burning off the oil. Don't worry about it. I think it's fine. And then it kind of did this like exploding sound, and then it's like, oh, no, it wasn't fine. That was actually a bad thing that it was smoking. So I don't know. Ethan comes around and looks at it, and like this whole belt just exploded. So, and he was like, oh shoot, just put that belt on there. I'm like, wow, great. Now the belt's ruined. And Walmart's closed now. It's now like, the guy's like, oh, well, that sucks. And he left. And we're like, oh, well, now it's like, you know, 1 something in the morning, 1:20 in the morning, maybe. I have no idea. And, you know, there's no options. There's no stores open to buy another belt. I'm like, okay, well, we got to get it towed then. It's like, wait, I asked the guy there before he left how much that would cost. He's like, well, you don't want to do that, because just towing it down the street would be $60. And Ethan's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. We kind of as a family don't called tow trucks ever. It's kind of like an unwritten rule that we have. I don't know, even if it makes complete sense to do that. So it's like, I know, he's like, call Verizon and you have to do this roadside assistance and you do all this stuff. So I tried that and that didn't work. And put me on hold forever, and I finally get through. Anyway, we tried a whole bunch of different stuff as far as that, and we're like, I know, we signed up for AAA, it's $60, but then you have AAA for the whole year. That makes sense, right? Well, no, he didn't want to do that because if he towed it, and I don't know, lots and lots of reasons not to. I was like, okay. Well, then I guess the thing to do is to leave it here. You put all your stuff in my car, I'll take you to my house, and then tomorrow morning, come back and work on it. And he was like, no, I don't want to leave it here, they'll tow it away. I'm like, well, what are you going to do then? He's like, I know, I'll just stay here and sleep here in the car and I'll fix it tomorrow. No. Are you serious? You're going to stay here? Like, that wasn't the only tweaker we saw. That was the only interesting one. There was plenty walking through. Drunks, tweakers, stoners, homeless, I don't know. You name it. Anybody who'd be out at 1 a.m. with nothing to do, it hangs out at the AM PM down there. And it's like, no, you're going to do what? He was like, yeah, I'm just going to sleep here. I'll fix it in the morning. And his phone is dead. And he doesn't have a lock on his car. And. So I was like, no, you can't do that. And I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I've been going since 6:30 in the morning. I have to work in another 4 hours and I have to be back at work. I'm like, oh, I burst into tears. I'm like, no, I can't leave you here. I'm like, because I kept thinking, as soon as we get a start, we'll be done. We'll be done. We can move on. We'll have won. He can go home. No, get it started and something else goes wrong that we can't even fix. Anyway. He's like, no, Abby, just go home. I'm like, I'm so tired. Just go home. I'll be fine. He's like, just tell people I'm here. I'm like, oh, great. So I go home and I'm super upset and I text everybody I know. I text my mom, my dad, other brothers, my roommate, I don't know, everybody. I was like, hey, hi, honey. He wants a walk. And he's like, I know, so I text him, I'm like, hey, Ethan's at the AM PM. He doesn't have a phone, doesn't have anything, and he's gonna just hang out there. And I'm like, well, not my problem anymore. I don't know, I guess that's his thing. Go to sleep, go to work the next morning. Don't hear back from anyone on the group text. Mom, Dad, seriously? And they're like, oh, well, you texted us, we were asleep, we didn't get till the next morning. Well, you could have texted me the next morning when you woke up, like at 7 a.m. You would have been like, oh, hey, we'll look into that. But no, nobody replies, nobody does anything. They call me at like 1 the next day. They're like, oh, we went to church, and then we went and checked on him. Parents are so concerned. They're overprotective. Anyway, so they call me and like, we can't find Ethan. I'm like, oh, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He probably already fixed it and went home. Anyway, but Ethan had called me at like 11:45. He had finally got it fixed and got it running, and I'd gone home. He called me and was like, I made it, and I'm like, yay. And I don't know if you want to hear about the rest of that story. You have to ask him, I guess. And they call me at like 1. We can't find him. Like, he's at home. He made it without your help. So, and they're like, oh, well, that's good. Anyway, so that's that.